What is up, you guys? Welcome to the Mix Online. Hey, we were having a little bit of technical difficulties there, but guys, guess what? Xfinity came through, and I'm back on, and just super pumped to be with you. In fact, I don't know if you know, I've moved houses. I'm not telling y'all where I live because some of y'all are creepy, and I don't want you coming around. No, I'm kidding. But I'm in a neighborhood, and just it's a new one, and I've got new neighbors, and one of them just was riding his bike, and I think y'all know him. We're going to stay 6 feet apart because social distancing is still a thing. But you guys say what's up. We got Chase
What's up,
here.
guys? How y'all doing?
Chase is working full-time still at the shop. I don't even know what he does, y'all. No one really knows. But yeah, we're glad to have him. And I'm going to stay my 6 feet.
Yeah,
This is 6 feet. It's an optical illusion there. But hey, we are so glad that you are with us, and if you're on a different stream, thank y'all for jumping back into this one. Again, we had technical difficulties, so hopefully you found your way into another stream that we're on, because my computer was messing up. But y'all got this. Y'all are doing great. So, real quick, I'm going to let more of you find this new stream because, yeah, we had to switch. And while that's happening, because I need to interact with y'all in a game, I do want to go ahead and give y'all some announcements. So tonight's exciting. We're about to have Josh Wilson jump on with us. We're going to interview him. He has a concert tomorrow night for Houston and TheMET. We're hosting it. I can't wait. The benefits are going to go towards COVID-19 relief and all of that. It's going to be awesome. But he's coming on tonight to hang with us. And Miss Alison is sharing the word.
Yes.
She's going to be doing
I love it.
the big picture week. I think we're in five. Yeah, we're in 5. Well, the night of worship threw me off, but
It's fine.
and then next week we actually are going to have worship. The worship team. In fact, I'm jumping in. There's a few of us, even some guys from Sci Life, and we're going to lead you in worship next week. So there will be a time of music, and then I'm going to finish up the series next week. And then you're going, well, if the series ends next week, what are we going to do on the 27th of May? It's kind of the last mix of the semester, and I'm glad you asked because we're going to be hearing from our seniors. It's Senior Speak Night. We're going to play some games with them. We're going to hear from some of our graduates, and it's going to be amazing. So you don't want to miss the next 2 weeks. And then you're asking, like, what are we doing this summer? And that's a great question. Again, just super glad you're so inquisitive tonight and that you're asking. We don't quite know all of the things yet, to be honest. We hope to open back up soon this summer, but we don't know all those details. Now, I will say this. We are planning a few amazing things, okay? We are going to have some Zoom, and I know you're like, no more Zoom, but seriously, Zoom Hangouts, high school only and middle school only coming up in June. So we'll all get on Zoom together, play some games, hang out. It'll be awesome. So be looking for more information on those. We're going to have some Netflix watch parties. So you guys can kind of put in on what movie you want to see. And we're gonna fire up the popcorn and all of that. And yeah, so
6 feet apart.
Yep.
You can do a Netflix watch party?
Yeah, you can. And it's a link that only that we give you. Can you come on? So
Cool.
So anyway, you want to do that. So yeah, like big things happening. Again, Netflix watch party, and then also we're working on a game night using. Some of y'all have used this in school, but the Kahoot system. I don't know if you've used Kahoot. Have you used it?
I'm so good at Kahoot.
You're good at Kahoot?
Don't even challenge me, bro.
So Chase over here, I mean, his Kahoot game is on point.
I've been doing it way too long.
Okay.
I know how to win.
All right. So anyways, yeah, you're going to want to do that and join us on Kahoot. We're going to give you more details to come, but you just got to follow us. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube. If you're on Instagram and Facebook, we're going to have that stuff as well. So anyways, I hope you can jump on now. I don't know how many of you are on with us right now because, you know, to be quite honest, we jumped channels. And so here's what we're going to do since some of y'all are still coming on line right now. We are going to be hearing from Josh Wilson in just a second. He's calling in. And before he does, I thought we could play a screen game. Y'all want to play a game? I don't know. Is anybody in the chat right now? I see Lillian's on there. Michael Humphrey found it. For the rest of you, who were on one chat, and then now we've switched to a different one. You're still trying to make your way. Hopefully you will find it, and our team can go. So Sarah, good to see you. Yes, okay, y'all are with me. All right, so here we go. We're going to a Scream game right now. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, okay. All right, here we go. So here's the deal. Oh, you're getting a lot of love right now, by the way, Chase.
Is that a good thing or a bad
that's
thing?
Lillian. So glad y'all are all on. I'm glad y'all have made it onto our other feed. Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, so this game is called What's Behind the Mask. This is Volume 2. We haven't even done Volume 1, but that's okay. We're going straight to Volume 2. So here's what you do. I'm going to throw up a picture. I'm not going to throw up. I'm going to show a picture. That got awkward. I'm going to show a picture, and then you guys got to guess what is behind the mask. You know, people wearing masks, it's really awkward. Who's ready to play? All right, here we go. All right, so the very first one, we've got Taylor Swift here. All right, okay. So remove the mask. What kind of expression is she making? Is she smiling, frowning, or straight face? Let's hear it. What do y'all got? Is she smiling, frowning, straight face? All right. And the answer, straight face. Okay. See? So right there, guys. Now you know how to play. Let's go to the next one here. Let's see. Okay, Steph Curry. Y'all remember basketball. We used to do basketball back in the day. There was an NBA thing going on. So
Pre-COVID or
something? Yeah.
Pre-COVID,
But, okay, he's got his mouthpiece somewhere. Is his mouthpiece on the side of his mouth, teeth, or does he have no mouth guard at all? Steph Curry, A, B, or C? Oh, it is A, my friend. Side of the mouth. Now, I know you can't see this, Chase, so I'm gonna move this so you can play along with us too.
Amazing.
Yep, there it is. All right, let's go to the next one here. Oh, we've got The Rock. You guys remember The Rock? He's been in many movies. I don't know if you've seen Jumanji 2 yet. It's a good one. Jumanji? So Jumanji, maybe that should be our next Netflix watch party. I don't know. But okay, anyway, what do you guys think? A, B, or C? Beard? Is he clean or does he have a goatee? What is it? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking bearded.
Bearded?
I'm thinking he's a bearded wonder.
Oh, it's goatee, my friend.
Tony
It's goatee.
Stark.
It's
Tony
goatee. Yep. All right. Ed Sheeran, which I used to call Ed Sheridan. I thought it was Ed Sheridan, and I kept saying Ed Sheridan, and people made fun of me. Now I know it's Ed Sheeran. Yes. So Ed Sheridan. Ed Sheeran. However you say it. Is he wearing lipstick behind this mask? A clown nose or a lollipop? That's what I want to know. What do you guys think?
I'm going to go for a lipstick.
Lipstick?
Why not?
All right, man. Let's see what we got.
2020.
All right, let's see what we got. Oh, he's wearing a clown nose. I think that's to raise money for a thing.
Yeah, because Walgreens does a red nose day.
Walgreens Red Nose
Are
Day.
you allowed to say that?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay. You guys, y'all know emojis. This one's tricky. I mean, who knows what this is going to be? Is it a sad emoji, an indifferent emoji, or a happy emoji?
Oh.
Don't read ahead if you can see. You're
looking
looking at...
definitely...
Y'all, he's looking right now at the answer.
I just saw it, and I realized I could have looked at it before.
Whatever.
And
All right, what do y'all think?
I'm done.
If you picked happy, you are a winner! Woo! Man, this is so much fun. Wow. All right, let's do it. Let's do another one. Let's do it just a couple more, guys. I'm having so much fun. I like dogs. Y'all, I have to tell y'all this story. So I was visiting my mom on Mother's Day, and she has this dog named Lucy that's been with us 13 years. This dog is older than Ellie, and she's gone blind in an eye. She's a little like Yorkie, and we had the most amazing Mother's Day. And on the very last night, y'all, there were two hawks in the sky, and I didn't think anything of it, right? But they're like circling, looking at this dog, and me and my stepdad, we're out fishing, and my mom and them are on a golf cart ride, and we come back, y'all, and Lucy is missing, and it was pretty traumatic. I had to go looking for her like the whole night, y'all. Old dog, she got out, we could not find her, and it really was like super sad, and I'm pretty sure a hawk got her.
Oh.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
She's still gone?
So, yeah, so that was on Sunday, and today's Wednesday. Guys, This morning, a lady found the dog. The dog had wandered off, again, blind in an eye. A hawk didn't get her. So Lucy is back with us. It's all good, but yeah, we were really sad all week, but God is good. So anyway, okay, I didn't know why I went into that whole story, but that just happened to us, and it's real, okay? All right, so what are you gonna see on the mug of this pug, all right? Is it licking, like a tongue out thing? Is it smiling? Or is it, what's the last thing say? Snarling? Is it snarling? What do you guys got? All right, let me give you the answer. If you picked A, you are correct. And yes, thank y'all about the dog. I was going to have a prayer request on tonight for Lucy, but we found her. But hey, let that be a lesson, all of y'all. If you have a small dog, just watch out for big birds. I didn't know it was a thing. They can attack. So especially Mallory, I know you got like 4 of them. So just, watch out. Keep an eye on your dogs, all right, guys? So yeah, all right. That was kind of fun.
Definitely.
That was a fun game. So tonight, we're not going to be as long tonight. Just a couple agenda items, all right? We already gave you some announcements about some exciting things. If you came on the stream late because of my bad, we had some technical difficulties, just go back and watch the beginning for our announcements. But we're going to move right along. We've got an interview. Josh Wilson's with us right now. We're going to go to him. He is calling in from Nashville, Tennessee. So we're going to go to him. I'm going to get to my office here, and we're going to do that, and then we're going to hear from Alison week 5.
Boom.
So let's get this thing rolling. Are you about ready?
Oh, definitely.
You're ready? Okay. All right, we're moving to my office, and we're going to try to get Josh Wilson up on the TV. Man, I'm so excited. Here he comes. All right, we're bringing him in, guys. Here we go. Josh Wilson, everyone.
All right, students, well, guess
what? We have another amazing guest all the way from Nashville. I know him as my brother Josh. Y'all know him as the Josh Wilson. But dude, so glad to have you tonight joining us on the mix, man.
Hey, glad to be here. I feel like we should start with a virtual high five.
Oh, I got it.
You got to get your camera.
Yeah, I got to do the camera. I was actually going to your screen. That didn't work.
Felt it that time. Success.
Dude, well, how are things going in your world? Like, I'm curious of, like, you're an artist, you're touring all the time. That's kind of like what you do. So what does an artist do right now, like in this quarantine, man?
Oh, man. Well, so I used to tour. That's not really happening now because, well, we all know why. But no, actually, I've been doing a lot of writing in terms of, like, work stuff. I'll talk about family stuff, too. But in terms of work, yeah, I'm still writing a bunch of songs. I mean, certainly a lot of inspiration for songs right now. And so I'm trying to be good about continuing to write music. And I've talked to my friends about this. I really think that there's going to be a lot of really good art come out of this. Songs, movies, sermons. I think these difficult times tend to be great. I don't know, inspiration.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier about how it's kind of cliche to talk about the good coming out of the difficult times, but it's cliche because it's true and because it happens. And so I've been writing a lot. And I've also been doing streaming concerts. I've been doing shows for people like a whole city. I did a show for Ketchikan, Alaska, and actually Lubbock, Texas the other night, where I've got my studio set up here. You can see my control.
Hey-o.
Over there.
Hey, that's looking good, man.
That's all set up for my live streaming shows. So
nice.
I've been doing that. And then, yeah, man, so I'm married. My wife, Becca, and I have been married 10 years, and we got a little boy, 4-year-old boy, Asher. And we've just been soaking up the family time, too, because usually I'm on the road, and I'm getting a lot of extra time with them right now. So we're really loving that.
That's really good. Dude, I know, like, there's moments with the family time. I think all of our students, like, we're like, yeah, like, it's cool to be home. And then there's moments like, I got to get out of here. Like, so it's the ups and downs of that. But I know, like, they don't know probably how old. Did you say how old Asher was? He's like
4.
Yeah, he's 4. So he's about to be kindergarten next year. So that's awesome. Well, let me ask you. So you're writing songs. A lot of our students don't know how that works. do you write with people? What's your process like normally when you like write songs?
Yeah, so I do a lot of co-writing. I do some writing by myself, and the way I do that is I just collect ideas all the time in my journal, on my phone. If I have a song idea, I'll write it down and just sort of file it away. And then when I have, I'd say at least 4 to 6 hours to sit and work on a song, I'll pull those ideas out and scroll through and see which one sort of feels inspiring that day. And then I'll try and put music with it. So that's my process when I'm writing alone. But I do a lot of co-writing. Steven, you and I have written songs together. Co-writing is a lot of fun because you get in a room with somebody else, and if you run into a section where you're like, I'm not sure what this lyric or this melody should be, sometimes that other person's like, well, let's try this, and that'll get you over that hurdle or around that wall. So interestingly enough, I've been doing Zoom co-writing. So I've people that I've written songs with will get on just like this, and I'll say, what do you think of this? And I'll play a song on my guitar. They'll say, yeah, what about this? And they'll play their part. And so I've written 2 or 3 songs at co-writing this way so far, and it's actually working okay. I mean, we're all learning how to do our normal routine on a computer, and I certainly look forward to the day we're going to be back in a room together with people writing songs. Man. But for now, that's what I've been doing, and it's kind of fun, actually.
It's like Zoom is the love-hate relationship. Like I'm so sick of being on Zoom. I think we all are. We're like, oh, I have to do school. Like our students are like, we got to do school on Zoom. We got to see our friends on Zoom. We even do, student ministry on Zoom right now. And it is like, we're sick of it. But it also is like, this is really awesome right now to have this so that we can connect, that we can still see each other and chat. And it is not as good as being in person, but man, it is, it's awesome to still be like, hey man, I'm in Texas and you're in Tennessee. We can have a conversation, hang out.
Oh, this, especially in big groups, this would not have happened 5 years ago. Like there'd be no way all your students could gather in one place on video 5 years ago. So it is, I know it is annoying, like you said, and we get sick of it, but man, I think it's better than the alternative.
That's right. Well, I always think it's fascinating, and I've gotten to write songs with you some and been in this world a little bit, but our students don't always know, like what goes into that. And I know you've even been, you just had a recent release and everything and touring that, but now you're writing some new stuff, and I think even going to share maybe a new song with us tonight. And by the way, I got to pause, y'all. Josh is going to be live in concert via Zoom. In Houston tomorrow night, right? That's happening.
Yes. So we're finalizing all the details, and as of right now, it is going to be let me see what time it's going to start. I don't know exactly what time, but you can go to joshwilsonmusic.com/Houston. All the details will be right there. I think it's probably going to be 6:30, but it might be 7.
All right, sweet. Guys, y'all heard that, and y'all are already online right now. You can literally do this right now. joshwilson.com/Houston.
joshwilsonmusic.com/Houston.
We'll do some sort of graphic for that, I guess, so I don't mess it up. But yeah. So yeah, joshwilsonmusic.com/Houston. So he's going to be jamming a lot of songs tomorrow night. And so support Josh. We love him. We've had him at the Met so many times. Obviously, Rachel and I are pretty close to Josh, but artists right now are in need of us surrounding them and supporting those that we love, and we all love Josh. So I know he's got merch and all that stuff too that you guys can check out, but just support him too, man. We're so glad to have you. Before you start rocking into songs, I just have a couple other questions. So I want to know this. If you had to be quarantined with the last character or one of the characters in a show that you have recently watched, who would you be quarantined with right now?
Oh man,
it's probably a cartoon of Asher's, but
I was about to say we watched Onward the other night. Have you seen that?
Yeah, dude, Chris Pratt, man.
Yes,
just released that on Disney Plus.
I would say, isn't he the big brother?
Yeah, I forgot what his name is in the show. I don't remember.
I think it's Barley.
Yeah, that's it.
So I'd pick Barley. He's he's just a bro, man. He likes to chill out. He likes games, so we probably have a good time playing those
playing some games.
Whatever game. got a good sense of humor. So yeah, that's actually funny. It would be either that or anything I actually watch was like Sesame Street. So Elmo, maybe Elmo.
Yeah, and Elmo too, right? Yeah. No, dude, that's a good one. Onward was awesome. We don't condone all the magic and witchcraft, guys. Just kidding. It was a great show, and I loved it. Like, came out on Disney Plus. We bought Frozen 2 because our girls loved it, and then like it literally released early on Disney Plus, and we were like, man. But a lot of cool stuff on there right now. But yeah. So what else does Josh Wilson like? What are you doing when you're not writing music, like right now in the quarantine?
Man, in terms of just like free time, I've been playing a lot of Rocket League. You played that game?
Yeah.
It's an older game, but I've got a Nintendo Switch and I've been playing Rocket League on that a lot. League.
Yeah, our students play that. I don't know much about it. I'm not.
It's super fun.
Well-versed.
It's soccer with cars. And then we have some cool parks around here that I like to go hike. And then when the weather, if it would like not rain for a few days in a row, I'm going to go mountain biking as soon as the ground's not soggy. So that's one of my favorite things to do is mountain bike.
Dude, I was talking to someone just the other day. They had just gotten back from like Walmart, and I'm like, wow, brave, going to Walmart. I mean, that has got to be like the epicenter of COVID right now. But anyway, they went to go get a bike because it's so beautiful and everyone's riding bikes around here, and they were like sold out of adult bikes here, like at the Walmart. Like everyone like is riding bikes. I don't know, man. Who would have thought? So
yeah, I keep
to have one. Yeah,
to buy stock in, and bicycles would have been another
bicycles.
Good one.
That's right, dude. Yeah, exactly, man. Well, awesome. I know like our students are excited to hear you rocking it out. So, man, would you mind like sharing a song or two with us tonight? Would you share something with us?
Yeah. So I'm gonna play a new song. So this song is all about kindness, and I think now, more than ever, it's so encouraging to see some of the acts of kindness that are happening even during the pandemic. This is 2020 was going to be a crazy year anyway. It's an election year, and it's a very polarizing time in our country. Anytime an election year rolls around, people get really divided and polarized. And I just think as Christians, we should be known by our love. And this is a perfect example. First, during this time, to show kindness and to show love. And then, during the pandemic, man, goodness, I love seeing videos of people, taking their neighbors' groceries and singing songs through the window at nursing homes to people who are lonely. And there's so many beautiful things happening during the middle of this. And yeah, there's a ton of bad news if you look for it, but there's a lot of good things happening too. And I just want to encourage you students to be a light in this time. It's a very dark time, and I think Jesus gives us a light and a life to shine into a dark world. And this is a perfect opportunity to do that. The darker the world is, the brighter our lights can be.
Yeah.
And so anyway,
and speaking of that, didn't you want that? Aren't people like sending in some stuff to you right now on that, or?
Yeah. So listen, you students and parents, anybody watching this, we're actually collecting videos of acts of kindness. So if there's anything you or your family or your friends are doing, pictures, videos, any of it, send it to us. I'm making a lyric video, and I'd love for you to be in it. And you can submit that at my website. There's actually joshwilsonmusic.com/kindness, and send us your video. We would love to put that in the lyric video.
Sweet.
And it's actually going to be
Come on, guys.
Song.
I got to rock it. Represent Houston.
Yeah, and so this is my new single, and this is the song all about kindness. So yeah, send me your videos. I want to play this song for you.
Sweet.
It's called Revolutionary.
Awesome.
Hold on, can I start over?
You can do that again. You got this.
1 second.
We'll edit. We will edit this.
Now leave it in there. Leave it in there. It's okay. Here we go. Maybe you're not like me. Maybe we don't agree. Maybe that doesn't mean we gotta be enemies. Maybe we just get brave, take a big leap of faith, call a truce so me and you can find a better way. Let's take some time, open our eyes, look and listen. Yeah. We're gonna find we're more alike than we are different. Yeah. does kindness seem revolutionary? When did we let hate get so ordinary? Let's turn it around, flip the script, judge slow, love quick. God help us get revolutionary. Whoa, oh, revolutionary. Whoa, oh, let's get, whoa, oh, revolutionary. Whoa, oh. I'm turning the TV down, drowning their voices out, 'cause I believe that you and me can find some common ground. See, maybe I'm not like you, but I walk a mile in your shoes. If it means I might see the world the way you do. Just take some time, open our eyes, look and listen. We're gonna find we're more alike than we are different. Why does kindness seem revolutionary? When did we let hate get so ordinary? Let's turn it around, flip the script, judge slow, love quick. God help us get revolutionary. Whoa, oh, revolutionary. Whoa, oh, let's get, whoa, oh, revolutionary. Whoa, oh. What would Jesus do? He would love first. He would love first. What would Jesus do? He would love first. Yeah, he would love first. So we should love first. Why does kindness seem revolutionary? When did we let hate get so ordinary? Let's turn it around, flip the script, judge slow, love quick. God help us get revolutionary. Whoa, oh, revolutionary. Whoa, oh, let's get, whoa, oh, revolutionary. Whoa, oh, revolutionary.
Dude, awesome, man. We are all applauding from Houston, man.
Well,
thank you so much. Appreciate you being with us. And yeah, hey guys, send some videos of your acts of kindness to Josh, joshwilsonmusic.com/kindness. And follow him if you aren't, man. A lot of awesome music coming out, man. We love you and look forward to it. And tomorrow night, you're going to be back. So we'll be checking that out as well. We'll have that link up tonight as well. But dude, thanks for sharing some time with us.
Hey, thank you, man. And thanks to all you who are watching. You guys keep shining a light. Houston needs it. And love you guys. God bless.
So we're at the end of a series called Big Picture, and in it we've been talking about the life of this guy named Joseph, and we find a story in the book of Genesis. So tonight we're going to camp out in Genesis 40 and 41. So if you want to go ahead, grab your Bible, flip open to Genesis 40, and be ready for when we dive in later. That would be awesome. And if you got it, say I got it, okay? So if you've been tuning in over the last couple weeks, you know that Joseph's story had some major twists and turns, that he found himself in the middle of these really unbelievable and difficult and scary circumstances. And while we all have the privilege of knowing how amazing Joseph's story turned out to be, right? Like we know the end of Joseph's story, he certainly didn't see the bigger picture because all he could see is what was happening right in front of him. And I have to wonder if being in the middle of all of those circumstances, if they ever made Joseph ask the question that I think a lot of us tend to ask when we find ourselves in tough situations. What's the point? Maybe you've been in a situation in your life that you didn't understand, or you found yourself in circumstances that you didn't want to be in, or you've been disappointed with the way that your life looks because, well, you didn't want it to look that way. And it's made you ask the question, what's the point? Maybe you found yourself questioning everything when you've had to deal with disappointment, when you didn't make the team, or you got gossiped about, or you got ghosted by a friend, and you just couldn't understand why you had to deal with all of the hurt and the pain and the disappointment of it. And you just couldn't see the bigger picture. Or maybe something really painful has happened to you in your life. Maybe you've watched a loved one struggle with illness. Maybe you've struggled with an illness yourself, or maybe you've had a loved one pass away. Maybe you are dealing with anxiety and depression, and no matter what you do, you just can't seem to shake it. Maybe your parents are going through a divorce, or you've been placed in foster care, or someone close to you has hurt you in a way that you're just not really sure you could ever come back from. Any of those moments in life can make us wonder. Any of those moments can make us ask the question, what is the point of all of this? I know I have asked myself that question a lot throughout my life. I think it's clear to say and easy to say that we're all going to experience different things in our lives at one point or another. And when we're in the middle of those difficult things, we often find ourselves asking the question, what's the point? Because we don't see any part of the bigger picture in that moment. We just see our pain. And when we feel that way, it's often nearly impossible to believe that anything good can come from the situation. Remember Joseph, he found himself in the middle of a lot of difficult and painful and frustrating circumstances. That after Joseph was thrown into a well by his brothers, he was sold into slavery, and he was brought to Egypt to work for a guy named Potiphar. And like we talked about last week, just when things were starting to look up for Joseph, like just when he was getting his life back together, he was put in a really difficult situation, and he was accused by Potiphar's wife of something that wasn't true, and he was thrown in jail. Joseph had tried so hard for so long to do the right thing and to remain faithful to God, and this is where it landed him. Joseph couldn't see past his immediate circumstances, but thankfully, God always has the bigger picture in mind. What Joseph couldn't see as he sat in prison was that God was working behind the scenes to help him. He was working for Joseph's good, even during Joseph's pain. Joseph just couldn't see it yet. Because you see, while Joseph was in prison, he actually wasn't alone. He was with Pharaoh's cupbearer, and he was with Pharaoh's baker. Time out. I know, you're all asking the question, okay, I know what the baker does. He bakes things. But what is a cupbearer? Like, what does that guy do? The cupbearer is the guy that handed Pharaoh his cup, and he would basically just make sure that his drinks weren't poisoned. It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it, I guess. And what Joseph didn't know is that these two guys would actually play a pretty big part in his story. So I want to look at Genesis chapter 40, starting in verse 5, and let's see what happened. The king of Egypt's cupbearer and baker, who had been confined to the prison, each had a dream. Both had a dream on the same night, and each dream had its own meaning. When Joseph came to them in the morning, he saw that they looked distraught. So he asked Pharaoh's officers, who were with him in custody, why do you look so sad today? We had dreams, they said to him, but there is no one that can interpret them. And then Joseph said to them, don't interpretations belong to God? Tell me your dreams. At first glance, this doesn't really seem like that remarkable of a story, right? Two guys had a couple of weird dreams. But during that time, dreams were actually believed to be predictions of what might happen in the future. So often, when people had dreams that they couldn't understand, they would seek out someone to help them figure out what their dream meant. And God had given Joseph the ability to interpret dreams. So he told the cupbearer and the baker what their dreams meant, right there in prison. Joseph told the cupbearer that his dream meant that the Pharaoh was going to restore him to the prison, to his position in 3 days. So the cupbearer was going to get his job back. And then he told the baker that his dream meant that in 3 days the Pharaoh was going to execute him. One really great outcome, one not so great. But either way, Joseph used his gifts and helped these men understand their dreams. And Joseph had just one request for the cupbearer. When he got restored to his position with the Pharaoh, that he asked that the cupbearer would mention him and help him get out of prison. But let's look back at Genesis 40, starting in verse 20, and see what happens. On the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, he gave a feast for all his servants. He elevated the chief cupbearer and the chief baker among his servants. Pharaoh restored the chief cupbearer to his position as cupbearer, and he placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. But Pharaoh hanged the chief baker just as Joseph had explained. Yet the chief cupbearer did not remember Joseph. He forgot about him. I think there are two really important things to note about this passage. First, everything that God told Joseph would happen did happen. And second, even after all of that, Joseph was forgotten. The cupbearer didn't keep his word, and so Joseph just remained in prison. Can you just take a second and imagine how hopeless that must have felt? The Bible actually tells us that Joseph sat in prison for 2 full years. For 2 years, Joseph wondered if he had been forgotten. And he remained in prison, not able to see what God was orchestrating in the world around him. He wasn't able to see what God was doing with the bigger picture. Y'all, that's a long time to wonder if God is at work, or if there's any point to the things that have happened in your life, or to wonder if you'll ever be remembered. Think about it this way. Do you guys remember when Avengers Infinity War came out in theaters and how hype everyone was? Okay, what about when Fortnite was at the height of its popularity? Okay, what about, forgive me for even mentioning this one, what about the Tide Pod Challenge? Who remembers that? And I think that one, honestly, is something that the world should just forget. We should never remember the Tide Pod Challenge, okay? So it's okay if you forgot about that one. Okay, what about when IHOP became IHOB, the International House of Burgers, and they confused the world? What about the massive debates between Yanni and Laurel? Do you remember what you heard? Or what about the Thai kids soccer team that got trapped in the caves and had to be rescued by divers? Y'all, all of these things were the talk of the world just 2 years ago, but are they even on your radar today? They're not on mine. Joseph had been placed in prison for 2 whole years. Was he even on the cupbearer's radar anymore? But finally, y'all, one day, 2 years later, the Pharaoh, he had a dream, and no one could interpret these dreams. And the cupbearer finally remembered this guy that he met in prison who was able to interpret his own dreams. He remembered Joseph. And so the Pharaoh, he called on Joseph to interpret his dreams, and God helped Joseph to reveal what his dreams meant. So let's look at Genesis 41, starting in verse 39, to see what happens. So Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Since God has made all of this known to you, there is no one as discerning and as wise as you are. You will be over my house, and all my people will obey your commands. Only I, as king, will be greater than you." Joseph was able to interpret the Pharaoh's dreams. And finally, after all of the struggle and the suffering and the slavery and abandonment and imprisonment, Joseph finally got the good news that seemed like it would change his life forever. But here's the thing. This isn't about Joseph finally getting good news. It's not about this fairy tale happy ending. And it's not about Joseph getting a promotion, even though it's pretty sweet. It's about the bigger picture. God was writing a bigger story, even though Joseph couldn't see it. Joseph's story was full of pain and it was full of problems, but it was actually those painful moments and all of those problems that God was using to create a better future for Joseph. Joseph just had to be willing to trust that God could use him right where he was. That even during Joseph's pain and problems, God was working behind the scenes for his good. And I think that the same can be true for you and I today. We may never understand why we're dealing with all of the things that we're dealing with or why we're facing the circumstances that we are. But we can trust that just like there was for Joseph, there is a bigger picture for us too. And while creating our bigger picture, God is working for our good. And that good, it may not always look the way that we think it should, and we may never actually figure out why we had to go through what we had to go through. But when we trust God right where we are, we can trust that he's working toward what's best for us, even if we can't see it yet, or even if we don't understand it. So when you can't see the bigger picture, trust that God is working for your good and ultimately for his glory. Instead of struggling to find the point of our pain, how do we trust that God is working for our good? I think that we can start with these 3 really simple steps. First, I think that we can exercise faith. On a daily basis, we can choose to believe and to trust that God is good and that he has everything in his control. So in the moments when you're struggling to have hope, just simply pause for a moment and remind yourself, God, you are good no matter what, and you have everything in your control. And we can look for the good. Guys, just simply look for the good. While you're in a difficult situation, it's pretty typical for us to want to rush past the problem, right? Just get over it. But sometimes when we're able to pause and we're able to take a step back, we have the opportunity to learn something about ourselves, and we can learn something about other people, and we can also learn something about God. And while we may not always see the ways in which God is working, we can still make the choice to look for it. And we can also seek encouragement. When we lose sight of the truth that God is working in our lives for our good, I think it's important for us to lean into other people and to ask other people to share stories of when God was working for their good, even when they couldn't see the bigger picture. And we can use their experiences to encourage us during really difficult times. And ultimately, we must remember when we can't see the bigger picture, we can still trust that God is working for our good. Let me pray for us, and then we'll shoot it back over to Stephen, all right? Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for the work that you're doing in each of our lives. God, some of us sit here with so many questions of what's the point, of why God, why me, why my family. Lord, for those of us asking those questions, Lord, I pray that you would speak, God, that you would give comfort, God, that you would open our eyes to see the ways in which you're working, God, and that we would hold just steadfast in our faith, God, that we would trust you, that you have our best interest in mind. God, I pray that we would cling to the hope that there are brighter days ahead, God, that you are writing a bigger story, that you're painting a bigger picture. God, help us to just trust you every day, in every moment, in every way. Lord, we love you so much. We thank you for this time. We thank you for your word and the truth that it brings us. God, I pray that each day you would help us to trust you more. We love you so much. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Allison. Awesome. What a word tonight for us to remember. So keep those things in mind. I just want to remind you of a couple things. Again, tomorrow night, Josh Wilson concert. If you can join us, it's going to be amazing. And big weeks coming up the next few Wednesdays. We are going to have the band and some of the SciLife band with us, leading us in worship. I'm going to finish up the big picture series next week. And then on the 27th, we're going to hear from some of our seniors. I'm still needing to reach out to them, but it's going to work out. And they're going to be joining us on the 27th. We're going to hear from them, play a few games with them. It's going to be awesome. And then we got some Zoom hangouts, Netflix watch parties, even some Kahoot games coming up this summer. So a lot of fun stuff. I hope you'll join us next week, and y'all have an amazing week. We will see you guys later.